Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, but I can't see you.
Oh, okay. Let's see. Here we go with this again. Oh, there we are.
Hey, Dusty.
All right.
Oh man, it's so awesome to meet you.
Yeah, good to meet you.
How have you been doing?
I've been doing good. Been doing good. Uh, been doing a lot of fishing.
Hey man, this is the perfect time of year. I went fishing with Isaiah the other day. We didn't catch anything. A
Uh-oh.
sunburn. Yeah.
I bet y'all had a good time though, didn't you?
Oh yeah, we had a great time out there just hanging out.
He's a good old boy.
Yeah. Yeah, I like Isaiah.
Yeah.
So what have you been up to since the show?
I just working and just adventuring, really. That's about it.
Yeah. I seen your YouTube channel. I was actually watching it earlier today, watching a couple of videos on there, and I love them, man.
Well, I've been working on it. I'm getting better at it. My wife, my editor, and she's working through it.
Yeah.
I ain't smart enough to do that part.
Oh man, it took me forever. I was telling somebody just the other day, it took me about a year before I was able to make a half-ass decent YouTube video. So well, let's get right into it, Dusty. First of all, I just want to let you know I'm a huge fan. Uh, Me and you, I felt like I could kind of click with you just a little bit more. I grew up in the hills myself, doing a lot of the same things that you did, and leading up to it, what made you want to apply for the show? What was that first step that you took?
Well, be honest with you, my wife signed me up for it. She seen an ad come on Facebook, and she knew I was into that stuff. And I'm always, I just never thought about signing up myself. And she signed me up. And she told me, "Hey, I signed you up for a loan." And it wasn't like a week later they called me. And I was like, "Wait a minute now." It was kind of iffy at first, and I was like, "Yeah, this is a real deal."
Oh man, that is so awesome. I bet you
Yeah.
were excited whenever they first got a hold of you, wasn't you?
Yeah, I was excited, nervous. You had to go through, some videoing and stuff, and it was a lot to do there, but it was sure worth it.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. It's an experience like no other.
Yeah, yeah.
Even just going through the boot camp and everything else. So what was the I ask everybody, what was the boot camp like for you? What was it like seeing all these people that just, everybody likes the same thing and they're all, trying to size each other? What was that like for you?
That's why I was just fixing to say. You get to meet a lot of people that's like yourself. It was pretty neat. A lot of really good people. Nothing bad to say about them at all. Uh,
Awesome.
really cool people.
uh, so, I mean, we all know we know there's like 24 people in the boot camp. You know, when you were in there, did you think, yeah, oh, I might not make it, or what was your thoughts hearing everybody talk? What was you thinking?
There's a lot of really good people in boot camp. So yeah, it was iffy there. And then you got to go through medical checks and this and that, and I was having troubles with a little bit of my medical check, and they just kept sending me. I was like, yeah, well, if they keep just going, they must like me. And all of a sudden they called, and I was like, oh, okay.
Oh, that's awesome. Uh, so did you make any special preparations before you went on this, like before you went, after you got the call?
Well, I tried to keep, I did a lot more studying. Any kind of studying I could do on that area, that's crucial to do. But I didn't really change my diet none. I didn't want to fatten up none. because if you change your metabolism, you get there and then it's just gonna you ain't gonna be able to keep up with it. And but my wife, she tried to fatten me up anyways.
That's sweet. Her, she knew what she was doing.
Yeah.
Did you have to do anything for, the people at home? Did you make any special
uh,
prep for them?
I just had to get like I went ahead and got the winter wood and stuff like that already split and stacked
Yeah,
and just ready and make sure I had a little bit stuck back for them.
yeah.
That's about it. I was pretty ready.
So, you said that you've been there. You're in Arkansas.
You broke up there a little bit.
You lose me.
Yeah, losing you a little
Okay.
bit.
Yeah, I'm sorry, man. That's service out here on the
Oh,
mountain.
that's okay.
Um,
Trust me, I know how that is.
uh, so you're in Arkansas, and you said that you basically been around that area your whole life, right? What's the farthest north that you've ever been before you went to the show?
The furthest north I ever been was Illinois. I go up there deer hunting with my stepdad all the time, and it gets pretty cold up there and windy, but I'm sure it's nothing like up up that far when it gets bad.
Oh, no, it seemed like y'all started off cold.
Yeah, when we first got there, first day in orientation there, it was rainy, kind of a little bit cold and windy. And I was like, oh, well, this gonna be something. But next day it was pretty. The weather's kind of weird there. Changes by the
Yeah,
minute.
I seen when you were doing your 10 items. I don't know if they had you under a tarp or what, but it looked like it was raining pretty good then.
Yeah, that was yeah, it was raining a little bit then. Got my sleeping bag wet a little bit.
Oh man, that sucks.
Yeah,
What kind
well,
of
it
sleeping bag
happens.
did you have?
It's minus 60. I don't remember the name brand though. I still got my wife ordered all my stuff for me. She really helped me out on most of that. Yeah, she really done me good there.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's so great. That's so awesome to hear that she was right there with you,
Oh yeah,
won't
the whole
leave
way
you.
through. And she was behind the whole deal there too, just in case if I forgot something. She helped me out with it. Behind, during boot camp, on the computer Zoom meetings and stuff. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's hard to get everything figured out at first because I never had social media or anything like that before the show. And so it just all of a sudden I was thrown into it and I didn't know what I was doing.
Well, there's a lot coming at you at one time too. They tell you, "Oh, don't forget
Yeah.
to do this, don't forget to do that." And I'm like, oh no, So, it worked out though.
Did you guys have like a fire test during your boot camp? We had the one log challenge. Did you guys have a
Yeah,
fire test?
yeah, we had the same
What,
same deal.
that's tough, ain't it?
Yeah, yeah. Luckily, I had some cedar down here, and it was pretty dry at the time.
Oh, so you had it
uh,
easy then.
pretty easy, yeah, on that one.
Uh, I picked a piece of seasoned red oak.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I've gotten fires going with them a lot before, but when they said, "Hey, you got 20 minutes to split this thing down and get a fire going with it," I
That's
said, "I
a
don't know
little
what I'm
rough.
gonna do."
Yeah, I bet that was a little rough there.
Oh yeah. Uh, so you went through the boot camp and everything, and so you got to go to the base camp orientation. You're on the show. This
Uh-huh.
is where it gets real. You're on the show. Uh, what was that like for you? We saw, a video of you on the plane and stuff like that. You're videoing out the window of the plane and stuff. What was that? What was going through your head flying up there, knowing that you're gonna be on alone?
Well, I mean, yeah, that was it's crazy. You know, I couldn't hardly believe it at first. You know, it's like you're living a dream the whole way there and back. And on top of all that, I've never been on an airplane or nothing like that. So that was a whole new experience for me. And you get up there so high, you get above the clouds. You know, it looks like cotton candy out there. It was something very beautiful.
Yeah. I actually asked one of the pilots. They probably thought I was an idiot because I don't. I've been on planes before, but it had been a like 15, 16, 17 years, and so I didn't remember it. And I got on there and I was like, man, I opened that window and it just blinded me. And I asked one of the pilots out there. I was like, so do you guys have like a visor, or how do you keep that sunlight from hitting you right in the face? And they
Uh-huh.
said, no, we just have an open window. We got visors and stuff, but it's not as bad on us because we're not sitting in the dark the whole time.
Oh,
Uh,
I see.
yeah. So when you got to orientation, what was your favorite part of orientation? What happened in orientation? What was your favorite part?
Oh, my favorite part, uh, the whole time, it was all about what I like doing, the whole time. There's all, teaching us what to do about the bear, bear protocol and camera work and this and that. It was a really good experience. And Mr. Dave Holder, I still say he's my favorite. He's a good old boy and
Yeah, I love Dave.
very very smart feller.
Yeah. It's like no matter what, every time he speaks, it's like you, you just automatically feel like it's the gospel truth because he's just saying
Yep.
it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yep.
what did y'all do during orientation? You got to do some fishing, right?
Yeah, yeah, I got to do some fishing. I caught my first pike. It was only like this long, but I used him for bait and I caught a bigger one though. So that
That's
was
awesome.
pretty neat. Yeah, that was the first pike I ever caught.
That is awesome.
And
I've never caught one before. I tried like hell, but I never caught one.
I was really wanting one of them Grayling. I think it was Grayling was what they was talking about up there. I wanted to see one of them too. But it didn't work out.
Well, it don't always happen. You was talking
Nah,
about the bear
sometimes.
protocol. You was talking about the bear protocol and stuff. Have you ever had an encounter with a bear before?
Uh, I've had an encounter. I stepped out on a porch one time, and there he was. It was kind of a surprise, I think both of us ran about as fast, as each other. So, uh, I've been to zoos and stuff like that. Uh, but nothing, bum rushing me or nothing like that.
Yeah. Did you get to see any, like did a bear get close to your camp or anything out there while you were on the show?
I I got woke up twice of a nighttime, and the second time I heard something. I was like, "Well, I know, I woke, heard something," and I sat there and directly heard it again. It was something break, and I heard him hoofing, going
Yeah.
off. And but that was the only bear anything that I had. But I was prepared. If he'd have come in my little hut there, he'd have met the wild man.
He said, I got bear mace in one hand and my axe in the other.
Exactly.
Oh, that's awesome. Oh God. Uh, what was your favorite part of orientation?
I think meeting all the people that I met, uh, I think that was the best part of it because I didn't never think there was anybody out there like me, and then there's a whole room of them. That's pretty cool. Yeah,
That's awesome.
yeah,
It's so awesome. And it's the truth too. Where I'm at, there's not really a whole lot of people here that are in. They don't practice survival skills and stuff like that. And people look at you like you're weird when you're like, "Hey man, you can if you skin this rat and you cook it like that." But once
yeah,
you get up there, you're talking about all these things, and everybody's like, "Oh yeah, I've done that." You know.
yeah,
So that's awesome. That's an awesome takeaway from it. It really is.
yeah.
Uh, So when you were at orientation, uh, was there how am I trying to say this? So you know, Dave and all of them are there, and all the producers are there, the camera guys are there, and it's like crazy for a minute. You know what I'm saying? Was there well, I will say other than Dave, because you already said that you love Dave. Was there anybody else there that just kind of like stood out in your mind?
Oh, the other contestants, including Cubby, Tuck. I mean Matt. There's several of them there.
He
uh,
said basically everybody.
yeah, basically everybody. I
Yeah,
mean that was all cool, man. It was just it was an experience of a lifetime.
yeah.
Yeah.
Uh, so let's go to your you're about to get dropped. This is drop day. What place in the lineup were you? And if you weren't dropped first, even if you were dropped first, what was you thinking up before you were dropped? Was you like, I don't know, trying to guess where you're going to be and stuff like that?
If I'm mistaken, I was the third that got
Third,
dropped. And it's just the whole time I was like, we're about to see where we're gonna live at for a while, you know. I was just I'm trying to, you know, drag in what's coming, and I underestimated it big time. It was a lot more than I was thinking, you know. It was awesome.
so you
I
were the
thought I was
third.
gonna get there. It was just gonna be, oh, you know, it's just gonna be, you know, a horrible nightmare the whole time, and it really wasn't. I really had a good time, you know.
Oh yeah, you could tell by watching the show that you were enjoying your time there, and
Yeah.
people love to see that. They love to see that person that's just at home where they're at, you know. Uh, so when you were first dropped though, like whenever you first hopped off the helicopter, you know, what was it like shock and awe, or did you already have a game plan going?
You know, the whole time on the helicopter, I was like, "Oh wow, this is wild! This is wild!" You know, I really wasn't even thinking. And we flew over my area, and I remember it, but it was like looking back on a dream because there's like, now look out, you know, and I looked out trying to, you know, to get landscapes and like the ponds and stuff like that, or you know, whatever was around me that I could remember, you know, which way to go, you know, kind of helped me out. You know? But
Yeah.
uh soon as I hit the ground, you know, the first thing I thought of was, I got to find where I'm going to be. You know, it really didn't bother, you know, I didn't really like, oh God, this is really happening. It was like, I was just looking for where I needed to be at, but I could not remember where nothing was hardly, you know, when I was from up there. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh God. Just talk about where you needed to be at. When you talk about your shelter placement, talking about you need to get to the wood line. And I think that's a smart move. I did the same thing. I needed to be inside the wood line to get off of that wind and stuff like that. Did you?
Yeah.
So was that? You think that that was a good decision for your shelter?
Yeah, that was a really good decision. You know, you don't want to get close to the river because the river's got its own natural wind, and that freezes you to death. You know, when it gets colder, and so it's better to get back off into the woods like it. But I should have went closer to my fresher water. That was my mistake on my shelter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh, so were you boiling your water every time you had water? Were you boiling it?
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. Every time I didn't want that beaver fever mess. I heard that was some serious stuff.
Oh yeah. Uh, I never boiled my water on Reindeer Lake, but it was just this monstrous lake, you know, and it had the crystal clear water, and I never boiled it. Never got
Yeah.
anything wrong, but they all told us, you know, boil your water, boil your water. And I talked to the elders and I asked them, I said, y'all just drink out of the lake? They said, yeah, we do. I said, okay, that's if you can do it, I can do it, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
Did y'all get to talk to the elders up there?
Yes, we did. That was a really good experience too. We got to sit there and listen to some of their cool stories, you know. Uh got to, you know, ask them all kinds of questions, and you know, and they got to tell us a little bit about watching the show and what they liked about it. So that kind of helped us give ideas what to you know to maybe show a little bit of. So
That's
yeah, it was
awesome.
really cool.
Did they give you guys any tips like where to fish, what to any kind of tips like that?
A little bit hearing there about the fishing, and they said if like gypsy wells or what do you call it, like just like a little hole out in the middle of nowhere, it's got water in it. They said that you could drink that and not have to worry really about much. But
Awesome. Yeah, because probably like naturally filtered pretty good.
yeah, they said that where you have to worry about most stuff was out in the pond. The stuff where the beavers was mainly at.
Yeah. So sorry, I got away from your shelter there for a second, but back to your shelter. It looked like you built a pretty strong shelter. Yeah, I mean you even walked up the back of it, right? So it looked like it
Yeah,
was a
yeah.
pretty strong shelter. Were you happy with that style of shelter?
Yeah, I was really happy with that. I put that together really quick. Uh, and really, I counted 74 logs in it. That's what took to build it, and I had it up within just a couple days, really. And
Nice.
yeah, that was the main thing. My mom told me, she said, "Well, if you're going to go, you need at least build you a good shelter really quick. That way, I'll feel better about it." So that's kind of a promise to her too. So.
I mean that's a good a good tactic too. I
Mhm.
went with the whole I'm going to start my permanent shelter. I want it dried in. I'm going to move into it and I'll work on it as I can. But that
Yeah, yeah,
also, in hindsight, took a lot of time away from me that I could have been hunting and stuff when I really needed
yeah,
that food.
yeah, yeah.
So I think that
That
was a
was
good tactic.
yeah, that was the another good thing about it is if you get your hard work done first, you can just kind of float through the rest. You're hunting and fishing and finding your berries and stuff like that. That was my ideal on it anyways.
Yeah, no, I mean that it was an awesome idea. I mean, you didn't have to work on your shelter anymore after that. It was done.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
awesome. You may have added to it later on, or fixed something or something like that, but you had the bulk of it was finished, and
yeah,
that's
yeah,
and you could just do whatever you needed to after that. You know,
yeah. I
uh,
I still have plenty of moss around. If I had to, I could do more on top. More insulation, but the
yeah,
bulk of it was done.
yeah. That's like I said, that's a great thing to have finished. Uh, if I ever had a chance to do it again, if I ever get a chance to do it again, I'm gonna do the Dusty, and I'm gonna get my shelter knocked out.
Oh,
Everybody that goes on the show, somebody has to say whoever's on the next season, if you build your shelter really fast, you gotta say I'm gonna do the Dusty.
yeah. That could be the thing.
So were you happy with your camp, the way you had your camp set up? Because it looked really cool. I was happy with it.
I was really happy with it. It was a good sturdy little hut I had. I made the doors really small on purpose. That way, if anything was to get after me, I had a fighting chance before it got me. It's good sturdy. I actually fell two trees across it when I was building it, and it didn't show. I almost hit a camera too. But
And it stood
I
up
only
to two
thing I did,
trees falling across it.
huh? Yeah,
it
it stood up. Didn't hurt it a bit.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Wow. So
the
that
only
was a
thing I
really good.
the only thing I didn't like is I had to cut a lot of trees right there in that area. It kind of made it look pretty bad. But they said that
Yeah.
it heals pretty quick there because it floods. So
It's crazy too because those spruce grow really slowly. Those
yeah,
black spruce, they grow really slowly.
yeah,
But at the same time, you got to do what you got to do.
yeah.
I cut a whole bunch of logs myself.
You know,
Uh,
when I
the dead
was
ones,
when I was at oh, go ahead.
the dead ones
Sorry.
are firewood right
Oh
off
yeah.
the bat. Yeah. When you was out where?
When I was out there, I said, I ain't never gonna miss a spruce tree. But I've got a bag of the spruce sap that I brought home to make. glue pitch, and I smell it every once in a while, just to remember.
Yeah. Oh man, that's so awesome.
Yeah.
I brought back some of that Labrador tea, some dried
Yeah.
Labrador tea. Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh, so after you had your camp, I don't know, I can't remember if you were still working on your camp or it was after you got your camp finished. But what was the first day that you got protein?
That was day two, I believe. I believe it was
Wow.
day two. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was going along through there and I was like, I'm hungry. And that's when I started and picked up the bow and it wasn't long. I had me one of them.
So do you usually hunt with the traditional bow?
I've dabbled with it a bunch. I've killed deer with them, several deer, but I was a mix between a compound and a recurve. But ever since I've been back, I got back before deer season. Uh, that's all I've been hunting with. So
No.
I'm
There's
kind of stuck
something
on it
about
now.
it. Yeah,
Yeah,
there's something about
yeah.
it.
I
Uh,
really got close to my recurve while I was out there.
so I didn't see you hunting with any like small game tips. I didn't see any judos or anything like that. Did you only take broadhead?
No, I don't know why it didn't show. I think some of my filming may have got a little messed up. Uh, but I did carry small game too. It's these right here.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's the one I had
I
out
don't
there.
remember what those are called, but those are good ones.
Yeah, yeah, those are really good. They kill grouse
Yeah.
too. You hit a grouse with it, they're done. So,
Oh yeah. Uh. Oh, you killed your first grouse out there, didn't you?
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
that was a.
Um,
I was sitting there and I was wanting to tie some flies. I already made a rod, and I tied a couple of flies, and I made a couple of fish baits, wooden fish baits. And then I was sitting there. I was like, "Boy, if I had me some feathers!" I was like, "God, boy, if I had me some feathers, I could tie me some flies." And I looked up, and there said a chicken. And I was like, "A chicken?" I was like, "That ain't a chicken." I was like, "It's a grouse." I was like, "There ain't no chickens out here." So yeah, then I went on the hunt. So
oh, that's awesome. I love the way you told that story on the show too, man. I listened to you tell that story, and I was like, man, it probably took all of 30 seconds to shoot those three arrows, but he turned it
oh,
into this amazing story, you know. Oh man. Uh, I was actually going. I killed a bunch of grouse out there, and I was actually going to save all the feathers and make a
uh-huh.
pillow, but I didn't at first. If I would have in the beginning, it would have been a lot better, but I didn't. Uh, did you get to tie a fly with that grouse? I know that the stomach problems had started, but did you get to tie a fly with it?
Yeah, I did it. Matter of fact, I got it right here. If you want to see it, that's
Oh,
the
that is awesome.
feather off the grass.
Oh, that's so awesome. That is so cool. What did you use a fishing line to tie it up with?
I took a piece of paracord and I took the white innards out and then I stripped them down. And that, when you get down that low, it's kind of hard to get them apart. But I got enough of it and used some of that spruce sap to stick it. So,
Oh man, that is so awesome. That's some ingenuity right there. That's awesome. Uh, another little thing that you made out there that we got to see because we didn't get to see the fly, you know. So it's really
yeah.
cool that you showed us the fly. Thank you for that. That's awesome. Uh, another thing that we saw was the squirrely sack. Do you still
Yeah.
have the squirrely sack?
Oh, I don't got the squirrely say. I did that for a friend. He told me he's like, if you get you a squirrel out there, you need to make it because we've seen some people playing hacky sack. And he's like, well, if you get you a squirrel out there, you got to make you a squirrely sack. And I was like, all right, I'll do it.
Oh, that's awesome. I started laughing like crazy whenever I seen that. You said I gotta do it. You kicked it. Oh, that was so
Yeah,
great.
I had to kick it.
Oh God. How many squirrels did you kill out there?
I ended up killing five
Five squirrels?
with the recurve. Yep, five squirrels.
That's awesome. Uh, what about that? What about pike that you caught?
I caught one big pike. I didn't have much luck fishing. I had a bunch of bank lines out, but just wasn't having much luck. I started using squirrel scraps though. I used the head and the upper. Well, I called the shirt of the squirrel.
Yeah,
I used it for bait, and I had him. I come back next morning, checked it, and he was on there.
that's awesome. I bet that felt good seeing that big fish like that.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Uh, we call it whenever because I skinned one out. The squirrel that I killed on one, I skinned it out, but I case skinned it.
Uh-huh.
I was trying to keep all the fur intact, and but that's the way we skin them around here too. Shirt and pants. You just pull that thing apart, and you're done.
Yeah,
You know?
that's the easy
So,
way.
yeah. You caught that pike, and you were talking about the difference between a pike and a catfish, like the bony fish.
Oh
How
yeah,
would you how would you describe one of those pike?
pike is really good flavor. And it's a really a white, light colored, fish. Uh, it's not got like a really strong fish flavor, but the bones in them is horrible. There's bones all in them. There's a special way that you fillet a pike, and I do not know how. So I about strangled to death on a bone out there. They made it look a lot better than it really was. I
Hey,
think it was the end of old Dusty.
well, I like the way you said that, and it kind of makes everybody realize that this is real. This isn't make believe. There's no playing. There's nobody there but you and a camera. And
that
the way
that
you said, if
was
you go ahead,
that was like the first time that I had like a feeling of of where I was at. Because it's like a blanket just come over me. So like they wouldn't make it in time. There ain't no way they'd make. If I started strangling to death and I pushed the button, ain't no way they'd make it to me. I
yeah,
had that like experience when that happened. That was the first experience that I had of that.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think on the recap, I said usually the team is like, I mean, at a minimum, a half hour away from you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so if you started choking, that would be it. You know?
Yeah. I mean, do the best you can, and
Yeah,
I don't know.
yeah.
It'd be rough.
It would really be it. I mean, that there ain't no better way to say it. That would be it. You're dead out there before they can get to you.
Yeah. You just have to
Yep,
accept it.
that's it.
Yep.
Uh, so did you start? We saw you build a smoker. Did you start building that smoker? Because the alone timeline kind of switches up. It's not some things happen before other things, but they're showed later. So did you start building that smoker when you got that pike or before?
I had that smoker built like day 3 or day 4.
Okay, so it was before the pike.
Yeah,
Okay,
it was way
so I was
before
I was
pie.
wondering, and I like your ideas for it with the storing the wood and stuff. What all ideas did you have for that smoker? How was it set up in your mind?
Well, I knew it was kind of it wasn't it wouldn't have held smoke good enough. Uh I did I had it completed with spruce by the time I left there. But I was gonna go back with moss. I was having troubles with, getting moss to stay up on there without the spruce, but that was my plans later, that I was gonna go back with moss and encase it better. But
Yeah. Uh, I like the way that you told everybody about how whenever you set I always mess up calling pine needles because I'm from Georgia, but the spruce needles.
yeah.
The way you can point those spruce needles down and they lay over, and it really will. It'll shed water like crazy.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Yep. And with the like you said with the moss, you start packing that moss on there, and it'll help retain more of that smoke.
Yeah,
Did you
yeah.
actually get to smoke anything on it?
No, no, I didn't get to
No.
smoke anything. I boiled a lot of water in it, cooked a lot of food, but that's about it. I didn't get to smoke nothing.
Oh man. Well, it looked like, and it was a pretty decent sized one too. It wasn't one of these little bitty ones that you see, uh, maybe chest high to somebody. It was a pretty decent sized smoker. The wide bay. You even talked about keeping your wood dry in there.
Yeah, yeah. Be a good place to store wood while you're smoking.
Yeah. And I mean, even if you put some green wood in there, you know what I'm saying? Just the heat off the fire would help dry it out, or some
Oh
wet wood,
yeah,
I mean.
yeah, yeah.
Yep. So when did you let's was there anything that you did out there that, I mean, we already see the fly. Was there anything else that you did out there that didn't get shown that maybe you would have liked to have been shown?
Yeah. There's, I mean, kind of because I really, well, it was a fish net. I made a fish net while I was out there. Uh,
Yeah.
I did it by their specs and everything. So it was like 12 foot by 4 foot. But I here where I'm at, a gill net is illegal, and I've never
Yep.
used one. So, and it was weights was prohibited for the bottom of the nets. So I
Yeah.
didn't really know what to do. I just kind of tied it to the log and flopped it out there. Well, it didn't work too. So
You said weights were prohibited. Do you mean like you couldn't tie rocks to the bottom of it or anything like that? Because I thought we saw somebody on there. I don't remember who it was, but it looked like somebody had tied some rocks to the bottom of theirs.
you yeah, they I talked to them and they told me later that you could tie. They told me, while I was messing with the net, that you could use rocks at the bottom of it. But the only problem was is I didn't have no rocks.
Oh, oh man,
Yeah.
that well, there you go. You ain't got no
I,
rock. It ain't gonna work.
I had 11 rocks that was like this big around, and I've got them in a bag in my living room.
Oh God. Uh, I wonder if maybe because I used rocks on the bottom of mine whenever I put my gill net out. All I had was rocks and moss, so I put
Uh,
rocks on the bottom of mine. But I wonder if maybe like a little piece of like green spruce, like a spruce top or something like that. I wonder if that would weigh it down any it being green. I
oh,
don't know,
you'd
or
have to make
maybe
sure it's
I
sank.
don't know, maybe one of the old waterlogged ones. Yeah,
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 yeah, that would work.
that's what I'm saying. Because I know I would float, but I don't know, man. That's something food for thought.
I I had thoughts,
Uh,
later if I got desperate, I could go back and take, poles and pull the bottom down. So
yeah.
I had plans for later if I had to.
Was your site? Everybody I've talked to, they've been like the river bank was really muddy. As you go into the river, it's really muddy. Was your site like that? Was it a lot of mud?
I didn't have much of a bank. My bank was kind of more straight up down. I had just a little bit of a lip walk around through there. I mean, and yeah, it was muddy. The water was like chocolate milk. Uh, but now the other side, I call it my island because I was completely surrounded by water. Uh, the other
Oh,
side of my island was a little ditch, had water that ran through it, and it was clear. So that was my drinking water there. But
yeah,
yeah, the main part it was really bad muddy.
yeah. Well, because I've been asking if people thought that they could maybe go out and put two stakes in the ground and tie their gill net to that because they've been talking
Uh,
about on the show it's really shallow and stuff like that. And if I found a really shallow spot, then I would probably do that because even if you got only 6 inches, 8 inches of gill net in the water, it's stretched out to where it'll get something. But everybody said, man, everybody I've talked to, if you walk through there, you're going to lose your boots.
yeah. Oh yeah. the like quicksand. You gotta watch that stuff up there, man. If you stood there by the water at any like a good amount of time, you sunk. You couldn't
Wow.
just stay there.
Wow. So there was
Yeah.
no stand there and fish. You had to keep moving, huh?
Out there at the main part of the river it wasn't so bad. It was more towards the other side where the clear water was. It was when I jumped down there to get my water, I didn't let no grass grow under my feet. You know.
uh, so I've drank river water around here. What did the water taste like up there? Even after you
You,
boiled it.
well, I mean, it was really good water. It is
Yeah.
kind of boiled water. My pot kind of tasted like boiled squirrels a lot.
That's all right though. uh, I've got a joke. Whenever I have to drink water out of the rivers and stuff around here, it doesn't matter if you boil river water or what, it still tastes like dirt.
Yeah.
So, around what day? I'm sorry. Around what day would you say? 'Cause we heard pretty early. Around what day would you say that your stomach started cramping?
My stomach started bothering me around about day 6-ish or so, day 5, day 6. It started. I noticed, something wasn't right. I already knew something was up, but I knew something wasn't really right then, and then it just started progressing faster. Uh, by the time I was leaving there, it was pretty rough. Like a
Yep.
burning, stabbing pain. And I didn't know,
Yeah.
I've had, surgeries before and they've had me on medicine and it messed my stomach up before. It constipated me. And so I knew that feeling. And this was different. It was up high in my stomach and it really had me worried. Like I said on the show, I thought I had beaver fever. So
Yeah.
but
I was going to ask you that. So you thought that you had Giardia?
I
That's what
thought
was going
I
through your
thought
mind at first?
yeah, I thought something was going on there, but I mean I knew that I was constipated. So I mean,
Yeah.
what can you do?
Yeah.
Plant
Oh,
life,
I know. Go ahead.
it,
Go ahead.
it, if you had the right place, and right plants, you could have overdosed yourself with vitamin C, and it would have helped you. But you could have done that with spruce needles, but you'd had to drunk a bunch of it,
Yeah.
so you wouldn't have made it. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I just didn't have the plant life in my area that I needed. And I mean, it wasn't nobody's fault. It's luck of the draw.
Yep. Well, that's any survivalist will tell you, survival is 80% luck, you
Yep.
know.
Yep.
But I've told a lot of people, man. Okay, so I went a few days when I first got there where I didn't go to the bathroom. And after that I started making sure that I at least tried to every day.
Yep.
And I've tried to tell a lot of people when you're on a strict protein diet, it's not like you're getting a bunch of fats and stuff to lubricate everything out. It's
Yep.
it's protein. And that stuff turns to rocks.
Yep.
Yeah. And so it'd be real easy to get blocked up like that, you
Yeah.
know?
And
Uh
nerves has got a lot to do with it. And you just think, of all the stress that the participants go through. Well, think of what they're thinking of, and a lot of nerves there. I think I blame that a lot with that too.
yeah, yeah. And stress
Stress.
causes stress causes a lot of stuff on your body.
Yeah.
It's actually amazing how much stress can really wreak havoc on
Yep. Yeah.
you. Yep. And you're right. You're under a lot of stress out there. You're surviving and filming it.
Yeah.
And it's tough.
Yeah. That was really tough. People don't realize that, that you're carrying around like a anywhere from like a 3 to 6 foot camera tripod with a big Canon camera on it. And then you got like
Yeah.
two GoPros, and you've got to, film yourself of all this. If what you want the world to see, you better capture it, or you weren't gonna they weren't gonna see it.
Yeah. That's exactly right. And they tell you when you get there, film everything because
Yep.
it's not like you're going to go to a football game and film a football game and one side's going to win and one side's going to lose.
Yep.
You know,
Right.
this is you're walking through the woods and the bear might jump out at you at any moment. The moose might run in front of you, whatever.
Exactly. I
You
keep
know,
waiting for Cable to come out of nowhere.
yeah.
Ah, I don't know if he did that to y'all, but he did it
Oh
to
yeah, he did. I didn't have my camera.
I went from a bear mace. So
Oh my God, he would have never expected that.
That's what they taught us to do. So
Yeah. You was talking about making fletchings. You brought up cable. You was talking about making fletchings out of your grouse feathers. I lost all my arrows but two, right? The moss up there just ate them. They were gone. You
yep.
could dig forever and you wouldn't find them. But I lost all my arrows but two, but I started making my own arrows out there. And that's what killed all my grouse, you know?
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, but I had so many arrows when I came out, when I tapped out, I was giving them to people as souvenirs. You know, if you didn't get
Oh
an arrow,
wow.
yeah, if you didn't, I had, you know, the silky saw bags,
Uh-huh.
the saw pouch for the silk, it was full of arrows. I'm talking
Oh
about
wow.
so full, yeah. I mean it, man. I made a bunch. But I was using all my grouse feathers for the fletchings, you know.
Yeah.
And cable, I gave everybody one. I made one arrow that had a wooden broadhead. Like I carved a wooden broadhead, looked like a napped arrowhead. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah,
I
that's
gave that
cool.
one to Cable. And I
Yeah.
was really proud. I was really proud of that. I said I could make an arrowhead out of anything: glass, bones, wood.
Yep.
Make an arrowhead out of anything. Uh, have you ever made your own arrows? I saw in your casting video that you were napping that piece of glass, and man, that was a beautiful biface that you had.
Yeah. I've dabbled with it, but I haven't got serious with it yet. Now I've replaced, fletchings on a lot of arrows, but I've never, from nothing to arrow, never done it.
Yeah,
But I'd like to, give it a try. Now, when I was younger, I made some river cane arrows, but nothing serious.
yeah. Hey, those river cane, that's some of the best shafts you can use.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Hey, I got a tip for you just in case you ever go on the show again. If you kill a squirrel out
Yeah.
there or a grouse or anything, clean the guts out like you clean chitlins. You know how to clean chitlins? You just shake
Oh
the
yeah.
shit out of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Clean them out like you would clean chitlins and stretch them. If you have to weigh them down between two rocks or tack them to a tree with hooks or whatever you got to do, stretch them and let them dry, right?
Okay.
And then you can put them up, and it's almost like sinew.
Oh, okay. Huh.
Whenever you go to do your fletchings, you can soak them in water for a minute and then wrap them up. And when they dry, they shrivel up again.
Oh,
And so
darn.
it's really good stuff. Yeah.
Well, that's something new I didn't know.
Yeah. Learn something new every day. But yeah, it's
Yep.
an awesome thing. I've done it with squirrel gut.
I'll be.
Yep.
I
Uh,
I actually was talking about arrows. I was trying to get some flu arrows made before I went out there, and I couldn't get nobody to get me, make me none in time. But when I got out there, you thought they didn't show that either. But I took one of the squirrel tails when I was out there and made my own flu arrow.
oh man, that is so awesome.
I did, quite a bit more they didn't show, but I really enjoyed the way they showed my story. They did really good.
Good. I'm glad. And the way
Yeah.
that they portrayed your story, man, everybody I have talked to has loved it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Everybody, Dusty's awesome. Yeah. So I mean, you did a really good job filming out there, and you were just a unique person. It's
Well,
just
thank you.
amazing. Thank you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, hate to go back to the bellyache, man, but everybody, I mean, you kind of know what's going to happen whenever you start getting those feelings. You know what I'm saying? And we even see that you went for a walk. You know, so what was going through your mind at that point? I mean, you knew that you hadn't used the bathroom and stuff. What was going through your mind up till the tap?
I was thinking in my head, anything possible that I could do to help my situation. And I actually even thought about drinking the water. Just thought, well, just drink the water, without boiling it and see what happens, maybe. But in the end, that would have been bad to do too. Uh, and like I said on there, you ain't, I could have stayed there and suffered till day 20, day 30, whatever. And then I'd have went and spent no telling how long in the hospital and no telling what would have happened. And 20, 30 days ain't gonna win, you know. They ain't gonna win
No,
that show. Those
no.
those participants there, they let me tell you, every one of them is some hardcore people.
Yeah. Oh
So
yeah, everybody's there to win it, that's for sure.
yeah,
You know?
yeah. They some really good people too.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
So and I mean I said it too. I said it on my little recap. I do the recaps of all the episodes or whatever. And I said it on the recap, people in our modern world, constipation is a thing that happens when you're out there in the woods. That happens, and it happens to damn near everybody. Even in our modern world, it happens to everybody at some point or another.
Yeah.
If you go 2 days without using the bathroom in the modern world, you take a gentle laxative.
Yeah.
If you go
Yeah.
5 days, you go to the doctor. You know what I'm saying? So nobody would go. Anybody that's ever had to go 10 days. It's painful, And
Yeah.
I mean, I think you made the right call. Me personally, I would have done the same thing. I wouldn't have been able to go that long. And like you said, man, you're just going to end up in a hospital.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I think you made it right. It's better to come back and be able to. I love the way you said it. It kind of it hit me right in the heart whenever you said, "I'd rather walk out now than you carry me out later."
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
to me that goes to show the type of man that you really are. You're not gonna. You want to stand on your own 2 feet. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
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 Uh, that was a really emotional tap too, and like I said, it hit me because first of all, I'm a fan, and so now it's awesome because I get to talk to Dusty, you know, uh, but at the same time, you could tell, man, that you really did not want to leave. It
Yeah.
wasn't, yeah, it wasn't that you were just ready to go home. It was you knew you had to,
Yeah.
yeah, that's hard.
I had a lot more I wanted to do, a lot more I wanted to see and animals and everything. Everything was new to me. So it's like life goals.
Yeah, yeah. Uh, so after the tap, I mean, even when you tap out, the guys are great. They come up, they give you a hug. They tell you that you've done a good job. They're great about it. Um, how was that? What was the aftercare like? How was your recovery? How long did you spend in recovery?
uh oh wow. I can't remember how long exactly, but I know we stayed there a good week. Uh at least a week. It may have been a couple more days. But the time there, man, it was awesome. I had one of the best medics you could ever find. Oh, Ben, I'm sure you
Being the
know it.
good guy, yes,
Yep,
being and he gives the best hugs. I was never
the
somebody that
best, man, the
yeah,
best.
I was never somebody that took hugs until I came out of the woods and every day Ben would say, "You want a hug?" Yeah.
Yep,
And yes,
yep.
I do, Ben.
I miss his hugs. I
Yeah,
really do.
good, good people.
A really, really good person. He really knows his stuff too. He fixed me up within a couple of days. There, I was back to normal. Won't go back.
Uh, so I mean, do you know what they gave you to get you fixed up? Was it
Ah,
like
it was
laxative or
he wrote it down for me. It wasn't laxative. It was a oh, it was two big old jugs. It was almost like mineral oil, but it wasn't mineral oil. It was oh, I forget the name of it, but man, it was really good stuff.
what castor oil
You
was
better
it?
be, huh?
What castor oil was it?
No, no, what casserole? I've got it wrote down somewhere.
You ever had a
Uh,
shot of castor oil?
oh yeah.
Oh
Well,
yeah, that stuff's terrible.
I may be thinking of something else. I bet you I was thinking of something else. Anyway, I thought yeah.
Yeah. Oh, my granny used to give it to us. Uh, it didn't matter. It didn't matter what was wrong with you. You had a fever, castor oil. You broke your arm,
I was
castor
thinking, oh,
oil.
no,
It
yeah.
didn't matter. So what all did you do while you were in recovery in that week and some days? What all did you do?
Oh well, while the whole time we was there, uh, we bushcraft. You know, me and Cubby, we sit there and make some yo-yos.
Oh,
Pete,
that's awesome. You got to
uh,
hang out with Cubby.
yeah, I got to hang
Yep,
out with Cubby the whole time. And matter of fact, we showed up there together on the airplane, and we left together on the airplane.
that's awesome.
Yeah, me
That's like a
and Cubby.
bonding thing.
Oh yeah, me and Cubby was brothers from the day one. Matter of fact, we got some plans for this weekend. Hopefully, we're going to go on a little fuck trip.
Oh, that's awesome. Tell him I said
Yeah,
hi.
I will.
So you guys made some yo-yos. Was there anything else you guys did while you were there?
Oh yeah, Dave he came down and showed us some a little survival whistle that you can make out of just anything that you find, piece of tin, uh, a Coke can. You just fold it up and makes a little whistle. It's pretty neat. And
That's
then
awesome.
we just went foraging all over the place. You know, when they let us out, you know, Cubby, you
Yeah,
know, he was pretty rough there for a good bit. Oh, arrow to the
oh yeah,
leg, you know.
yeah. I
Uh,
saw the pictures
that
of
was
his
that was a
leg.
bad deal. Let me tell you,
Yeah,
I seen it.
yeah, yeah. That's
But
rough.
we started out a little at a time. Then they finally let us go a little farther, go a little farther. So we got to go around and to collect some stuff that we wanted. And I got me some horseshoe fungus and some other stuff I was looking for. Pretty neat.
Awesome, awesome.
Labrador tea. I come home with a bunch of it.
Yeah. Uh, so Kobe was still there when you came out. You said Peter was there too. I think we talked earlier.
Yeah,
You said
Pete.
Peter was there too.
Yeah, Pete was there. Man, Pete, you talking about an intelligent person. He knows a lot of stuff. And he's talking about making baskets. And I was like, yeah, I don't know how to make a basket. He started, you know, and Cubby's like, I want to see you do it. Well, we started making baskets. And Pete showed us one beforehand too that he done made. And of course we wanted one, you know.
Yeah.
So we sit there and watched a little deal on the laptop there and weed baskets. You know, we was happy. Yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Uh, what was it? What was it like coming home afterward?
Uh, it was my family was really supportive, you know. They
Yeah,
just wanted me to come back in one piece. They didn't want a
yeah.
grizzly to get me. So that's all.
Uh, so you said y'all been just trying to do some little adventures and stuff. Have y'all planned any bigger adventures? You and the family?
Yeah, we've been wanting to go down either Alabama or some Florida or somewhere like that, chase some crabs around, you know, a little bit of that.
Oh, that's awesome.
And then I've been talking a little bit about Puck. Uh, I'd like to get up there and hang out with him a little bit. So maybe that'll work out.
Yeah.
But so I just been just been doing little ventures around here lately and working.
Yeah.
That's about it for right now.
Well,
I did go on a
hopefully.
little trip. Uh, I did go on a little trip here. Oh, it wasn't too long ago. I went up Oklahoma and did a bow shoot with Cubby. That was pretty cool.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, I saw his video of him. He's doing the Bowyer challenge and he's doing the
Yeah.
squat. If you haven't seen that,
Yep.
you gotta watch it. It's hilarious.
You talk about some,
My little son was in there. He was watching it. And he was doing this, doing the squats with him.
yeah. Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Uh,
Uh,
you talk about pretty bows too. Cubby, he can make some pretty bows. I watched him shoot his bow. We got to shoot a lot in orientation, practice and stuff.
yeah.
And he makes some really good bows.
Oh yeah, I looked at his website and he got to show me his bow. It was on camera, but he got to show it to
Yeah.
me, and it really is a beautiful bow. And the one that
Oh
he made
yeah.
for his wife is beautiful too.
Yep. Yep.
What kind of bow is that hanging behind you?
That's a Sage Galaxy.
Sage
That's what
Galley.
I had out there. Yep. That
Nice,
that's the bow.
nice. I've got a Samick Sage. I don't know what model it is. But it's a 45 pound, and
Uh-huh.
that thing's got some snap to it for a
Yep.
45-pound bow. It's got some snap to
Oh yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna do some bear
it.
hunting with this one and hog hunting too.
Nice. Yeah, man, I've been wanting to get out and do some hog hunting. I was talking to my brother-in-law, asking, because I don't like going out on the mountain just by myself. I would rather
Uh,
have another person there with me. It's just smarter that way. Uh,
yeah.
but because you get lost up here in these mountains, and that's it for you. But I was telling him, I said, "Hey man, we can go on this hog hunt. I got a bow. We got you a bow, so on and so forth." He said, "Yeah, I'll go, but only if we put up tree stands." I said, "Why?" He said, "Because the things will come after you." He said, "I'm not doing that." I said, "No, man, you stick them, they'll run."
I've only
Uh,
got once.
yeah. Uh, my stepdad actually killed one of the hogs down here. Um, it's been 20 years ago. He actually killed one of the record hogs down here, and he shot it
Oh wow.
probably 4 times in the face with a 30-06. And he said it was
Wow.
still coming after him. Yeah, he said it was still. And man, I'm telling you, we drug that thing up a hill. I mean, it was almost flat. That's how steep it was. It was almost flat. And it took both of us. It was field dress and everything. It took both of us to get to the top of the hill to get the three-wheeler to it.
Yep.
It was
Yeah.
rough. That was a big hog, man. It was like 6 foot. It was like from its butt to the tip of his nose. It was like 6'2". That was
Yeah.
It was a big hog.
That's that's good in there.
Yeah, it's a good one, and it wore me out. I was the young boy at camp then. So yeah,
Good strong back.
yeah, that's exactly right. Here, tie us to you.
Yeah, I did my share of pulling on them big old hogs before.
Yeah,
Uh, I only
I'm pretty
got
sure
once.
you only
Huh?
got it. Did it so it hit you at tusk?
Well, what happened was I actually shot up a big old boar hog, and I told my cousin because I had to work the next day. I told him I was like, "Man, let's go back tonight and find that thing." I was like, "I want to find it." He had big old cutters and been good eating.
Yeah.
And we went back, and there's an old haul road going up this hill. I was walking up through there, and the hay was high as my head, and I got to a spot and it was just all cut, and I was like, "They're up there cutting hay up on the side of a mountain, and it was all piled up over there, and I didn't know it, but there's a big old sow. She done threw up her nest and had some babies, and she come
Oh.
out of there." And you talk about beating me. She didn't have no cutters, but she
Yeah.
beat me all over that mountain. I never did even get to shoot her.
Them things are strong too. Even baby pigs they're just stout. You know?
Yeah.
Oh God, I've never been hit by one, thank God. But even domestic pigs, I've never been hit by one. But I can only imagine. I've had to wrestle a couple of them. I can only imagine them
Yeah.
coming at you.
It's pretty rough.
uh, what's the what's the biggest deer you've ever taken with a recurve?
Well, now I haven't got to get me a buck yet. I've killed a lot of
Okay.
does. I haven't got me a buck yet.
Yeah.
But I've killed some big bucks with compounds.
Yeah.
But that was back when I was younger. And I just, after I got to shooting, recurve, and then I went on this show, and I really got with my like I become one with my bow.
Yeah.
And I don't even want to touch the compound now.
I don't.
I
I
just
don't own one anymore.
Yeah, yeah. I
Yeah.
just feel like I can do better with my recurve now.
Yeah. And that's, I was saying the other day that a compound bow, that's to me now, after shooting a recurve so long, a compound bow is like a rifle with an arrow in it. You know,
Yeah,
I can
yeah,
take one from 60. I mean, depending on what bow I'm shooting and how used to it I am, I might take a shot at 80 yards with a compound.
oh yeah,
You know,
yeah,
yeah. Uh, but now with the recurve, I'll probably never touch a compound bow ever again.
yeah. No, I've got a diamond hanging in there on the wall right now, and I'll never use it again probably.
Yeah, yeah. It's there's just something about it, man. It's more satisfying to shoot something with it
Yeah,
for one, you know?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
And when you go shooting bows with your buddies and everybody shows up and they got compound bows and you're hitting it with a recurve, you're like, yeah, you
yeah,
can't do that. I don't have sights on this, I'm just snapping them off.
yeah, yeah.
I had a friend of mine. Here's a funny story for you, real quick. I had a friend of mine, right? And he had never shot a recurve bow before. He probably had never shot a bow before. And I said, "Hey man, it's not that hard." I showed him a couple of times. Told him how to hold it and everything like that. And I don't know how he did it because I've never done it before. But he released that bow and it hit his nipple. I don't know
Oh
what was
boy.
going on. And he's a little bit bigger guy. You know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
So I'm not gonna say he's fat or nothing like that, but he's a little bit bigger guy. Uh, I don't know if that had something to do with it or what, but when he let that thing go, I thought he was going to drop the bow because he just grabbed his chest. He said, "Oh my God." He said, "About ripped my nipple off." He said, "You're a horrible teacher." And of course, I was just laughing.
Yeah. Anything can happen with a bow too when you're shooting. That's the reason why I shaved my beard off because I hung my beard when I was shooting before, and that hurts.
Yeah. Oh, it'll snatch you for sure.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
supposed to wear glasses, right? I don't have them on right
Uh-huh.
now because I'm stubborn, but I'm supposed to wear
Same
glasses
here.
all day. And I had my glasses on and I went out there to shoot. And man, I could see the target. You know what I'm saying? There was
Yeah.
no, I could see through it almost, it seemed like. But uh, I pulled it back and I got my anchor. And when I let go, my glasses went like
Yeah.
curled around a little bit. What it was is I had them down on my nose a little too far. I didn't have them pushed up.
Uh-huh.
Since then, I've learned how to shoot with them. But man, that was rough right there. Doing a good arm slap every now and again. That'll
Oh,
keep you young.
I carry a permanent bruise on mine.
Do you shoot with a finger tab?
No, no,
Yeah.
I bare fingers. Yeah. I
Oh,
use an
man.
arm guard.
Oh man, that's a true man right there. I got well, I'd love to say that I got man hands, but now hearing you say that, I guess I don't. I use a finger tab and stuff. When you're hunting, and you're just going to take that one shot, then or two shots, however many you need. But when you're target practicing or when you're
Oh
just
yeah.
shooting 3D or whatever, you're out there and you're like, I'm going to shoot 50 arrows today. Boy, and fingertips, things get sore.
Yeah.
Yep. I gotta use that. I gotta use that finger tab. Can't do it without it. It kills me. I'll shoot without an arm guard,
Yeah,
because I'm comfortable enough with it. I hardly ever hit my arm, and if I do hit my arm,
yeah,
it's not really that bad.
yeah,
But finger tap, I gotta have my finger tap. And you shoot three under?
yeah, yeah. I shoot
Yeah,
300.
yeah, me too.
Wait,
I can't
where?
can't do the split finger thing.
Yeah, I know. I used to do the split finger. I got a 75-pound sage. Uh, I used to do split finger when I snapshot with it. Like, if it was running through,
Yeah,
I'd split finger, but, standing still, aiming, I'd 300.
yeah.
Yeah.
Guess that snap shooting like that, it kind of helps orient the arrow on the string too. You know what I'm saying? Hold it in place real
Yeah.
good.
Yeah. Make sure.
Yeah,
Yep. Yeah. And I
yeah,
double knot mine too. I put 2 knots on that way your arrow can't go down or up and,
yeah,
do something
yeah.
funky on you.
My wife shoots. She shoots recurve too. Well, I think she's got a recurve and she's got a reflex deflex bow as well. But
Okay.
she shoots. Yeah, she shoots 2 knot. I got this awesome deal on a couple of old bows. It was a Pearson and an old Bear, and
Oh, okay.
yeah, it was like the people didn't really. They were like, "We don't shoot this. We're not going to be using it." It was my son's, and he grew out of them. He doesn't want them anymore. Blah blah blah. It was like $50. You can have both of them. I said, "Well, here's $50." You know,
Yeah.
yeah,
It's
and
like you was getting gold, wasn't
yeah.
it?
And
that's
I mean, I'm an honest person. I told him, I was like, "Look, man, this bow is worth this one. This bow is worth way more than $50." They said,
yeah.
"We're not going to use them. We've had them forever. If you want them, $50 for the pair. But here's $50."
That's what they wanted.
Yeah, that's exactly right, man.
A lot of people, like you said, they're compound and this and that. They don't look at a recurve or a longbow or any of that like we do.
Yeah,
Uh, $50 for it. I mean, come on.
yeah, that's it, man. $50. I'll take them. If
Yep,
if
all
he would
day
have said,
long.
yeah, if he would have said $50 a piece, I would have took them.
Yep, yep,
But 50
yep.
bucks for two of them, thank you. I might hug you. You know,
Yeah.
but my whole family, all my kids, even my youngest son, I built his bow. He's
Yeah.
got one. I've got a couple of them that I've been working on, but it's about this size. This one
Oh
doesn't
yeah.
have the handle shaped and everything, but
Oh, okay.
he loves his, man. I put balloons up on the little 3D deer target, and he'll come out there
Yeah,
and shoot them, man. He loves it, but the whole
man.
family is traditional.
Yeah, the kids
Yeah,
is what's important in life. That's my thing nowadays. I've killed so many deer and stuff like that the excitement of it is just I just meat hunt nowadays, and
yeah,
I get the excitement part is when I take my kids. My kids is they've killed bucks. They've killed I got a deer in the freezer right now that I got to get mounted for my little girl, a good little buck,
it's
and
awesome.
I that's the thing, man. You teach kids stuff that I get more out of
Oh yeah.
that.
Oh man,
Yeah.
my oldest son, I will never forget going out there with him. We went out and we sat, and it was his first year. You know what I'm saying? We went out and we sat for a little while, and there was just nothing going on. Now I scouted this day or two beforehand, and I was like, all right, there's a lot of sign. We're gonna see something right here. The rubbings everywhere is the middle of a rut. Didn't see anything. We sat there for like 2 or 3 hours, and he was getting anxious and ready to go. You know what I'm saying? I said, well,
Yeah. Yeah.
let's crouch down and we'll move over here. There's a spring that comes off the mountain. It's like a wet weather spring, just a dry creek
Uh-huh.
bed. I said, man, we'll go up here on this bank, and there's a couple of trees. We'll sit by them, and we'll just give me another 30 minutes. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We'll
Yeah.
see if something. I'm talking about, it wasn't 5 minutes after we sat down. Here come this little
Yeah.
doe out of the woods, and he dropped her. You know what I'm saying? He was so
Yeah.
happy. Yeah,
Yeah.
like you said, man,
That
that's
that
where it's at.
yeah, that's where it's at. Yeah.
Yeah. Uh, So with everything being said, Dusty, with everything that you went through, would you do it again, man?
In a heartbeat.
I know. I knew you'd say it too.
Yeah.
I had to ask. I'm sure a lot of people have asked you, but I just
Yep.
want everybody to know that you're ready to do it again.
Oh yeah, in a heartbeat. Just get a hold
Yeah.
of me.
Oh God. Uh, Now it'll probably never happen going back to the same spot. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
if you went back to the same spot, if they took you back to the McKenzie River Delta, of course not the same exact spot, but the same area, even just
Yeah.
inside the Arctic Circle, what would you do differently?
I'd stick
If
closer
anything.
to the well, I'd stick closer to the cleaner water.
Yeah.
And I would water from that would be the first thing I'd do before I build my hut, if that
Yeah.
tells you. 'Cause yeah. Uh, water is key.
Yeah. Was you experiencing any dehydration out there? Because I know that adds to constipation and stuff like that. It's actually a very big factor of it.
That's I messed up from the get go there because it was day two before I went for water.
Oh man. Yeah.
So that was a big factor there. I should have got
Yeah.
water from day one and kept pounding it down. So,
Yeah.
but
Would you take any different gear, like even just your clothing? Would you take any different gear?
no,
No?
my wife she picked spot on. I mean, perfect. I stayed plenty warm out there. A lot of nights I'd even make fires. I just
Yeah.
crawled my sleeping bag.
That's awesome. That's
Yeah.
so awesome, man. Uh, well, Dusty, I don't know what time it is there, and I don't know what time it is here, but it was late before we even got started. You know what I'm saying? Man, it has been just a pleasure talking to you, Dusty
It's-
the Wild Man. I love it. But I'm probably gonna go in here and see about getting some sleep. But man, it has been so awesome, and you have my phone number, man. Anytime you want to call, just give me a call and we'll chat. And hopefully, now I'm gonna try because everybody's on different schedules and stuff. But at the end of the season, I'm gonna try to get everybody back together to do one big call.
yeah. Hey,
If you would
yeah,
be interested in
I'm
that,
down for it. Yeah, you
awesome,
bet you.
awesome, great. I'm glad to hear it. Well,
Yeah.
Dusty, I'm gonna hang it up, buddy. It's been great talking to you. Uh, you're just so awesome of a person. You know what I mean? And I wish we could have saw more of you out there.
Well, it's been awesome talking to you, man.
Yeah.
It's been a pleasure. All
All right then, buddy. Well, get some rest. I'm gonna do the same.
right, you have a good one.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
I don't know how to work it either.
I don't know. Let's see. I'm gonna keep clicking. So, oh, here we go.